So Veena will join us in a few minutes. Meanwhile, we'll get started with the layout and I will show you all of the things that I've kept on the side towards the end. Okay. So what we're going to do is work on this inner portion, the inner grid. Give me a thumbs up when you're ready. We need a fine liner. I'm using 0.5 mm here. Okay, wonderful. Okay, so let's get started and we'll start by tracing the innermost circle and the second circle as well. I've shared the recordings on the group. I've shared the link, but I'll send it today again after the session. Okay. Next, we're going to make a U shape, and for that, I'll be using just one box like this. I like to call it dome. Different artists have different terminologies. So I'm making the dome shape. I'm making the dome shape, one in each box. Those of you who joined just now, so far we've just traced the inner circles and we've made the U shape, one in each box in the third circle. Next, we're going to use the same dome shape in 4 boxes. So how do we count? We're using 2 rows and 2 columns, and we start here, end here. This is our tip. Like this. 2 rows and 2 columns. And Veena is here as well. Apologies, I got late at temple, but I'm here. Thank you so much for joining today again. Okay, so far we've just traced the inner circles and we've made the dome shape in our third circle, and now we're making it in the next 2 rows as well. So we're using 2 rows and 2 columns. That makes 4 boxes. When you're working in a mandala, try to go as slow as possible because that gives you the best results. Okay. Next, we're going to use the leaf shape. For that, we're again going to use 2 rows and 2 columns. Now, this time we'll start on top of the dome that we have, end on top of the next dome, and we'll also mark a dot at the tip. And we're going to go like this and this. Make it broad. If you're not sure and you are not confident with drawing this directly with your pen, you can use your pencil first and then trace with your pen. Always mark the tip and the end point and then draw. We are using 2 rows and 2 columns like this. One more thing I would like to mention, if you're not able to follow as quickly as me, or if you're not able to do the whole thing during the session, you can do just a small section of the mandala and you can finish it later after the session at your own pace. Now in between the leaves, we're going to cover the space using a small semicircle. This semicircle is the same height as the leaves that we just created. Give me a thumbs up when you're done till here. A lot of people are done. I'll wait for like 2 minutes and then move ahead. Okay. In the next row, we're going to use 2 rows and 1 column and make the dome shape again. Now, when you're making any shape in a mandala in a new layer or in a new row, make sure it reaches the previous row. Okay? You can't leave the shapes hanging in air. Everything should be connected in the mandala. That's why it is advised to go slow so that you can make the shapes properly and hence you get good results. And you can see that using the same shape in different number of boxes gives us varied results. And we can also use different patterns to make them more different, make them look more different later. Okay. Next, we're going to use two rows and one column. So how is one column being used? We're using one half of each column. One half of two columns like this. So what we're doing, we are marking the midpoint on top of the domes that we have, and we're marking the tip at two rows, and then we're making the leaf shape. Now here the leaf would enter the flower, so we're not going to do that. We'll use a pencil to draw it first, and then only trace the part that is outside of the flower like this. You'll follow the same rule wherever you have flowers coming over your mandala layout or mandala grid. Now if you want, you can leave the mandala at this point and not draw any further, or you can just do semicircles like this. In between the leaves only, not going beyond the grid circle. I would like to leave the mandala at this point and not make it till the very last row, because I like the gap between the two things. It's just like the flowers and the leaves are surrounding the mandala like a halo or something. If you want to make something till the very end, you can make a semicircle like this on top of this semicircle. But make sure you're not overlapping any of the leaves or branches or flowers. I would like to add in one suggestion here. So the gap that we would be filling in between the fillers, like those tiny spaces, that maybe it could be a color, it could be black. If you'd like, you could sort of continue that until the last layer of the mandala as well. That's one way of doing it. Can you show what you're saying? Yeah. Just a minute. Sorry. So I haven't got there yet, but what I'm saying is like, so just yes. 1 second, Veena. Just 1 second. I'll pin your video. Now, please go ahead. Yeah. So what I was saying earlier is, I haven't got to that point yet, but when we usually will be coloring in between, like if you'd like to, this is one suggestion that you could follow till the last layer. For instance, I could quickly draw. Right? So yes. That you could just fill it like this. So that way it's a continuity. So I think it's very different styles and experimenting. Like sometimes you could try and after the end result you might not like it. But again, that's how you sort of experiment as well. Yes, it's all about trial and error, correct. Exactly. Okay, so while Veena continues with her layout, because she's going to be guiding with the patterns, what I'm going to do is do this part of the floral doodle so that you have something to follow if you're not done yet with the rest of the sections. Otherwise, it's just going to be a nice variation that you can follow in some other artwork of yours. But for now, we are going to do the inner detailing for these patterns, right? So I'm going to start off with something simple. And something quick before that. If you'd like to pin my screen, go ahead so that you could see what I'm showing. And yes, so we're going to start off by doing something very simple inside this. So because it's a very small space, it'll be just a simple line and a dot. That's clear. So we usually try and design our patterns according to the space we have. We don't want to bring in too many designs in a smaller space. And so for now, from the next layer onwards, what we'll try and do is that we'll always add something called inner border. So you'll gradually understand why I'm saying that. So we'll do one layer and then we'll start filling patterns and you'll eventually understand. So how do we do inner border is we're just replicating this outer shape that we've already drawn and just go along with. And a pro tip, you could always do an inner border with a little lighter nib size. Like say for instance, if you've done the outer border with a 0.3, you could do the inner one with a 0.1. Or with the same pen, you could just vary the intensity and do it a bit more lighter. Like, the pressure, like you could add little less pressure and do it. Okay, and then what we're going to do is for the pattern, we're going to start off by drawing a line in between, and one half of it we will just make simple diagonal lines like a leaf. Okay, and for the other one, we're just going to draw a pattern like a raindrop sort of, where we start from here like this and we take a. So, how do we do the raindrop? Is something similar like this. I think I have a very low light. Is it comfortable for everyone? It would be great if you can turn on another, like one more light. Yeah, I think it's if that's possible. Yeah, that's not for now. Okay. Would it be possible? But it's still visible. Don't worry, and I'm also doing it. Okay, yeah, perfect. Yeah. So don't worry about it. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So we're just going to do a petal. Yeah, so I'm in the living room and it's got very less light. So I have to sort of get that, external desk lamp. Yeah. If you can do that, if you can bring it, you can take mean, 2 minutes. Now. I have to go purchase it. But yeah, okay. That's a thing for me to keep in mind. Because I just set up. I moved to this house like 1 month ago. Yeah. And so I've just been setting up, and this space in my living room, like my art space, I've just set it up yesterday. Okay, that's okay. Those of you who can't see what Veena is doing, you can pin my video. I'm doing the same pattern. I'm thinking of making all the black and white patterns in the mandala and only add color to the floral. That's a very nice thought. I was thinking the same too. Or alternatively, you guys could also keep it black and white. I mean, it's still going to look the same. Yes. Pretty. Okay, so the next one as well, we're going to start off by making the inner border as just how Chetna is doing. Okay. So the next one, we're going to sort of make like a spiral. So I'm going to start using this inner border that we drew, and then do a spiral like this and go till here. And then do the same on the other end. And just do a circle in between and fill the negative space. We're going to focus on the gap in between, right? This that tiny pattern. So we'll do an inner border as it is, like this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring back the first pattern here. So it's this is how we can actually repeat. So again, it's just a simple line and a dot. Hi Rashmi. So now for the next pattern, we are going to do the inner border again. And so a good way of, when you're sometimes deciding on patterns as well, it's really nice to just draw with pencil and figure out what works the best. So that's one pro tip. Like you don't have to every time take your pen, as you can sometimes just take your pencil, figure out a pattern and see how it's working with the rest of your mandala, and you can finalize like that. So, which is what I'm doing right now. But I think. Veena, you'll have to move the seat a little above. Yeah. Yes. So, we're going to do a simple petal similar to what we did in the second layer. Just start off at the middle and then build from the sides. And how we are going to sort of add detail to this pattern is we're just going to do the same line and dot, but it will be a little smaller. We can move on to the last one. That's similar, creating an inner border. And to fill the designs in that, we're going to do something similar to what we did in the third row, but a little different. So this, and then dot, add a small dot in between. Just give me a minute, guys. I will be back. To improve symmetry in your work, you just have to practice. There's no other alternative. Draw as much as you can, and that's going to help you with the symmetry and the neatness of your work. You can use grid notebooks, the 5 grid notebooks that we mentioned, to practice your patterns in a much neater manner. Like in a mandala grid, everything is circular, so the circles are not as perfect. So the sections are not as perfect, but in a grid notebook, if you look at this, the boxes are perfect, so you can practice much easily in this. Okay, Veena, you can take over. Yeah, thank you, Chetna, for holding the fort. So yes, like Chetna told, it's always a good idea to start practicing with the grid book. So that sort of helps you hold your grip. Circle. And then we'll fill the dot here. Just a dot in between. Yeah, give us a thumbs up and we'll move to the coloring part. Hi, Nina. I have a question. Like, you have shown few patterns. May you know how many patterns are there in this mandala art? And how can we learn that one? So usually there are like a few basic shapes, like whatever we have drawn here, we have covered almost all of it. Like for instance, the first one is we sort of call that like an inverted U or a petal shape, right? And then we have something called raindrops or spirals. So there are a few basic shapes, and we thought of the designs that we were making in between the patterns or inside the patterns. It's basically a combination of those basic shapes. So just a handful of few. And you can always create your own by observing from nature as well. Yeah, so the patterns are endless, and there is no guidebook that would have all the patterns that you can use in a mandala. It's just about learning the basics and then creating your own patterns. There is no rule book to it. You can use geometrical patterns, you can use all of the elements, just like Reena mentioned. You can use these elements and combine them in different combinations and then create your own patterns. And you can always refer to the videos that a lot of artists like us share on our social media platforms. You can refer to those, and maybe you can have a separate notebook keep uh, where you keep drawing all the pattern inspirations that you find beautiful, and that's how you're going to have a pattern library or a pattern bank for you to use when you sit down to actually draw your mandalas. So there is a lot of information or a reference out there that you can look at, but there are no certain books or a certain place where all the patterns are mentioned. Yeah, I think that's what makes this beautiful. Like you don't have a CBSE textbook or something like that. Yeah. It's just a fun thing. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Okay, we're going to move to colors, and I'm going to color this much portion where I've already done the flowers. Veena, what have you decided? Are you going to add colors? Yeah, I started adding colors in this bit, like the filler, and then extend that until the end of mandala. Okay, just like you mentioned in the beginning. Yeah, you're going to color the background rather than the yes design. Okay. Yes. Yeah. These are watercolors, ma'am? Yes, I'm using watercolors. And since this flower has some yellow um, center, I'm using a yellow orange color to just color the center part. The petals are generally white, and I think Veena mentioned we also have a variety of pink in it. Pink, yeah. Bit of pink as well, pink and yellow as well. Okay, I've not seen the pink one, I guess. Maybe in images, but not in reality. I'm gonna keep it at that. Also, there are no such rules when you sit down to make floral doodles. You can fully color this in any color that you want, and it's still going to look good. So don't worry about the exact colors. This is the same light color that you're using? In the sunflower, I'm going to add yellow. And you can make the floral part as colorful as you want, and it's going to look amazing. The more colors you add, the better it's going to look. I'll show you a few examples as well in a minute. You can combine orange and yellow for your sunflowers as well. For mandala art, apart from watercolor, can you use any other paints as well? Yes, you can use crayons, watercolors, brush pens, acrylic paint pens, and pencil colors. Whatever color medium you have, you can use it. I think honestly, with every day, there's so many new products coming up. So yeah, creativity is endless. Yes. I don't know to what extent mine is visible, but what I'm trying to do is I'm using this Brustro metallic gold brush pen. I think this should have maybe it's into something I should have done a while ago. Yeah, it's so much more clear. But you know what? I can't pin both the videos and have a bigger screen for recording. Yes, yes. So this is what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to add in sort of like a black and gold is also a very nice combination. So in the chat, I think someone asked something. Let me go back. So with how to do shading. Just a second. Neha is asking how to do shading in these flowers because I don't want to color. Shading is actually adding colors, but I think you want to know how to add details, how to add finer details if you don't want to add color. So for that, what you're going to do is just take a smaller tip size that you had used for mandala patterns and just make a few lines here and there. And that's going to make it look more detailed and you won't need to add any color as well. You can do the same thing with colors as well. So both the cases work. Veena, you were saying something. Please continue. What I was saying is just because now I'm doing this golden filling, a little bit of my black design is, sort of getting covered. But what I'll do now after doing all of this golden filling, I'll take the black pen again and I'll just redraw all the shape so that the design or the fillers are more prominent. So sometimes it happens, right when you're trying to fill in, parts of it get covered. So I'll just redraw or rerun wherever it's sort of happened like that. Yeah. If you're using watercolors, this won't happen because the colors are more transparent. But with any other colors like the ones Veena is using, yes, you will have to redo the details. I think the leaves are pretty small to be covered with any detail, so you can leave them as they are. But inside the flowers, you can do a few lines like this. In a mandala, I like to go to Pinterest and look for color palette inspiration. And you will find, if you search for it, you will find thousands of images there which you can choose from. So, ready made color palettes are what are available. Just search for color palette inspiration and you'll get a lot of images. You can pick out whichever palette you like and then use it in your artwork. And it's applicable anywhere, not just mandala, any other art form as well. You can use the same hack. And there are also platforms. One on my mind right now is the Adobe, like we could just search Adobe Color Generator or something. And then that's literally a website where you can choose one color and ask to create a palette from that. Yeah, I started from there, but then I thought the palettes on Pinterest are like ready made. So if you don't want to do that hard work, you can just search on Pinterest and you'll find a lot of images. But yes, if you want to be creative, then that Adobe option is really good. I think Adobe also has few palettes beforehand, but I would also go back to Pinterest for what Chetna is saying because Pinterest has people's collections saved as well. So it's more like that artist's liking. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Here the in this one, yeah, Veena, go ahead. So yeah, what I was saying is the gold one in sunlight is going to look really pretty. I'm going to send a photo tomorrow when we have a daylight, and yeah, it's going to look really pretty. That's right. Okay, so I was saying that for the floral, you don't actually need a color palette because the more colorful and vibrant you can make it, the better it's going to look. Let me also show you a few of my artworks that I've done in the past. So here's one of the floral designs that I did, and I just didn't. The images of the same in the group. Yes, I'll send one or two images, but for now, just observe. Here, I've not chosen any palette. I just went ahead and added colors that I wanted, and it just looks really good because flowers look very beautiful when they're more vibrant. That's my personal opinion, actually. And then I have a similar artwork where I made a doodle design inside. And then the same techniques that I'm sharing here, a few details with lines and dots and colors of your choice. And you can use all of the leaves as fillers. Here I've used different sizes of leaves actually. And to fill the spaces, I've used the small ones that I showed yesterday. And then I have this one, it's incomplete right now, but we have all the flowers, different kinds of flowers, and then fillers around it. And this one is the same as the first one, but yeah. And then I also made this one where I added a few birds to make it more attractive and vibrant. Thank you so much. I'll just show a couple of few like other examples as well. I've taken a different, I've done a mandala and I've drawn like a flower around it, like a flower breath, just adding two major flowers. And then I've carried that yellow palette in the center. So that's one way of combining. And the other one is where I've added flowers in the center, and then you just make a mini mandala, and then you add flowers around, like flowers and leaves. Then this was in the circle mandala, which I did in a workshop, and I wanted to add something in the borders, added simple flowers. So this is again another one which was just a work in progress. It's a mandala and then it's got like flowers branching out, sort of. I did this in a live session with another artist. So these are very different creative options. And I'm sure in the Google Meet, in the survey link that you received, one of the options being Islamic geometry mandala. A quick example. So this is what I usually interpret. I mean, there are more, but a quick one to show you for now, like a mandala, and then we do an Islamic pattern. There are more, but this is what I have with me right now. And with regards to mandala journaling, Chetna will show a few examples. Yeah, the way on feed as well. Yeah, the artwork that you showed, Veena, are so beautiful. Thank you. Okay, so for journaling, let me just, yeah. So for an example, questions? A few examples for journaling, yes. Like these are like small one. How can we make it in a big process like in a canvas or those stuff? How can we make that one? So you're talking about the artwork here. How can we make it on a bigger surface, right? Yes. Yeah, yeah. Now we are making it in A4 sheet. But, yeah, you can use the same supplies. Canvas for canvas, you'll need to have um, acrylic paint, and also some paint pens that are black in color, so that you can add details. Yes. So this is the DIY acrylic marker. You could alternatively use this to paint, and then you could just literally, this is a thick marker. Yes. So you could use this to fill. But I would suggest first get used to the techniques and the patterns and everything on paper. Yeah. That's right, of a mandala, and then get cut. Because with canvas, the surface changes, and I feel it's not as forgiving as a paper because you need to be very gentle, especially when you're making the grid. You don't want to end up making a bigger hole in the center. So it's about holding your compass and how do you sort of be gentle while making the grid and everything. That's right. Okay, so I was showing you a few examples of what a mandala journaling artwork looks like. So here we create a mandala in the center and then do some collage work and add some affirmations and some symbols to make it look more beautiful. I've done a lot of them. They're so pretty. I think they're one of. I think I'm really in awe of your doodling, and then the way this is like an next step of doodling, right? Where you sort of add some affirmations, and it's so much needed in today's world. Where we need to make it a diary, and we need to sort of remind ourselves of positivity. That's right. That's the reason why I started doing it. I had a lot of mandala works pending, so I thought of making some art journaling projects out of them, and it turned out to be so therapeutic that I continued making it, and I'm still in the process of it. I've done quite a lot of artworks. So it's majorly focused on, uh, you know, feeling more calm and finding a therapeutic and creative way of letting out your emotions. It's not just about art, it's more about how you can manage your emotions, how you can express yourself more creatively. There's a lot of stuff that I have. And you also don't need a lot of expensive art supplies for this. Just a few scrap pieces of paper. Newspaper cutting. Yes, yes, yes. So you can be as creative as you want with the material that you have. I think I saw one of your reels where you actually did out of a blanket bag. Yes, I cut out the flowers and other designs that I like, and then I paste them on my journal pieces. Lovely. It's 3, so 4:15 right now. Yeah, I think we can end the session now. Yeah, we're good to end the session now. So just one last thing, I'm going to add some green color to the leaves here to complete the coloring part, and I'll also add some different colors to the circles to make it again look more vibrant, and that's how I'm going to finish this. We'll share pictures on our Instagram and the group as well, so you can check that out later. Yes. So as Chetna is doing that, I'll just answer all the queries. Yes, Neha, the recording of the workshop will be shared. If you have noticed as well, yesterday Chetna had shared day one's recording. Yes. So don't worry about that at all. We will be sharing the recording. Most importantly, what we really want you all to get out of the session is actually we want you to learn. So feel free to go through the recording and practice and hopefully that now that you've filled out the survey form, we will plan for the next workshop and we will expect the same participation that we had this time in the next few sessions as well, because at the end of the day it's really fun to have these sessions where it's always a give and take. We learn from you guys as well and we get new ideas from each other. So it's fun that way. And I think if you look at it, even I get ideas from Chitna and Aj, and then, yeah, same for me. The two different approaches. Like Chitna has actually added colors, whereas I am adding just a pop of gold. And that's what I've decided for now, like a pop of gold and just leave it as it is. But I think that's the beauty of art. Once I'm done with that, if I feel like maybe I want to add something more, I'm like, so it's always that creative flow of journey that just keeps coming. And you experiment, you do it. If you don't like it, that's fine, it's a learning. But the fun fact is, you might not, sometimes you will feel like, oh, I made this tiny mistake there. Oh, I messed up this mandala. But if you go show that same piece of work to your family or to your friends, they're not going to point out that mistake. They'll be like, that looks so pretty. So I think that's how beautiful it is. Like once you make the whole composition, it just comes out beautifully, no matter how it is, how ignore that tiny mistake. Yeah. So just have a nice positive journey. Um, Take out some time for yourself every day. I personally have got a huge break after moving abroad for my masters, but I always made sure that I take out at least 5 minutes for myself. So that is important. So do that for yourself. And coming back to the query, yes, we will share a picture of the completed artwork. Give us the day or two, and we'll share a picture of the complete artwork. We would love to see how you have completed it as well, and share it in the group. Yes, you can also post your artworks on Instagram and tag us on your stories, and we would love to reshare them. Please do tag us. All good. Yeah, we're going to end the session now as well. We'll open the group and you can ask your queries over there as well. Okay? Okay. Perfect then. See you all in our next session. And new learning. Thank you for joining. Thank you so much. Okay, everyone. Okay, bye, Veena.